Elementary music teacher friend, you love what you do, but you might feel unappreciated and, in fact, unseen some days. You may even feel like you're on a music teacher island and just want to connect with other music teachers who can relate to both your struggles and wins when it comes to teaching elementary music. I get you and understand completely the feelings you're having. That's why each and every week, the Elementary Music Teacher Podcast will provide you with solo and guest episodes that will help you realize you're not alone in your music teaching journey. Throughout each episode, my goal is for you to be able to walk away with actionable steps and ideas to help you feel like you're ready to take on the new week with whatever challenges may be thrown your way. Hi, I'm your host, Jessica Peresta, and I'm so glad you're here. Whether you're at home, in your car, in the shower, or wherever else you're listening, grab your cup of coffee or whatever other beverage is nearby and listen in to the Elementary Music Teacher Podcast. Hello, welcome back to the podcast. It is now January 2025. We're in the full swing of the new year over here at my house and in my world, and I know you're doing the same thing. This episode is all about how it's not your job to make every student love music. And I know you're right, well, but I'm a music teacher, so therefore my job is to teach music. And you're correct with that. You were hired to teach music to your students. Probably if you're listening to this, you are particularly an elementary music teacher. You may teach music across the board, K to 12. Maybe you also teach, I don't know, private lessons or things like that as well. But whatever it is that you teach, whatever grade levels or subject areas, this topic is something that once it kind of clicked in my head, it helped me tremendously in my classroom. Would I love for every student to step foot into my classroom and to absolutely fall in love with music education? Absolutely. Would it be awesome if they all went into the field of music in one way or another, a different type of career paths there are? Absolutely, I would love that. But we know in reality, a lot of students won't. So it is not your job to make every student love music class. I have said this on this podcast before, but I am a mom of 3 boys. And I will tell you right now that even though I'm a music educator, all 3 of my boys don't love music. They, one is, he is in band, and so he decided in middle school to keep going. But he's the only one that has decided to pursue music past elementary. Why? One of my sons is still in elementary. But I can tell you that with my kids, let's talk about other subject areas. One of them despises science. No matter how hard we try to encourage him, he just started high school, or how much we try to explain to him the reasonings behind it, he is just not a fan. He is, so it doesn't matter. This teacher, I really do feel like his current science teacher, could jump through actual hoops, could be a fire-breathing dragon, could bring in scientists from the past, and he still would not care. One of my sons he's not really a big fan of math. He does it, he's good at it, but it's just something he actually rushes through his work. He's in honors math, and we have to explain to him the reasoning behind taking your time and applying yourself. And so anyways, all that to say, those are subjects other than music, of course. But what I'm getting at is they don't really like those subjects. And I think back to myself in school. I loved music, but I remember not really liking art very much. And it's funny because you think that someone with arts that loves the arts would love all of the arts. And I just didn't. It's not that I didn't like art class. I just remember I just wasn't very good at it. I'm still not very good at art. My kids can tell you that I can barely paint a picture to save my life. So I did not like the days in the rotation where we went to art class because I knew I just wasn't very good at it. But I do remember my art teacher trying her best. She would encourage me. She would come help me. And that stuck with me. The relationship with that teacher I built, the effort she encouraged me to put in, And then also I still remember a lot of the art projects I did to this day. So let's bring it back to music. There's going to be students who their favorite subjects are something else. And when they walk in the music room, sometimes this has happened to me. You're going to get, oh, I don't want to do this today. Or do we have to sing today? Or you're going to get questions like that. And instantly my ego would go, I'm so disappointed. My feelings are hurt. I spent a lot of time planning this. I really wish they would like everything I did in here. I thought I was planning an activity that all the students would like. You're never going to plan something that every student that walks in your door enjoys. Some students will enjoy singing a whole lot. Some of them are going to love when it's movement activity day. Some are going to love when it's time to play instruments. Others are going to love different technology things, and so on and so forth. And the reason you're planning multiple means of learning is because you're going to end up sparking the interest of students from planning those different activities. Every student, though, you're going to have some who give the most minimal effort possible, where you're trying your best to give them some participation points, but it's like, man, I mean, they barely did anything today. So your job is not to make every student love music. Your job is to teach music. Your job is to inspire creativity in students. Your job is to bring awareness of music to your students, to let them collaborate, to let them understand the world of music, and to be able to play instruments and to be able to hear music and develop their singing voice. That is your job, is all the different things and concepts you need to teach. And yes, all those things matter. But your job is not to make every student love music. Give them different avenues of experiencing music. Show your passion and love of music to your students. And a lot of times that will inspire them. It's contagious. They're going to see how much you love it. And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, Miss Peresta really loves music. I mean, I do too, but like, why does she love it so much? So thinking back to all the reasons music matters, it's hugely important to advocate for music, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's hanging up one of those posters outside of your classroom door about why music matters, talking to students about it, maybe in your music programs at your different performances throughout the year. You're handing out in the program itself, maybe you have some blurbs about why music education matters so parents understand why their students are taking music class. But remembering also, when a student walks in the door, there's a whole bunch of collaboration that's happening in the music room. They are getting to experience music making together as a group, as partners, as small groups, as whole class. And then also, this is kindergartners. Sometimes that's their first exposure to the world of music. They have been listening to songs, watching shows with music in it and all those things, but the first formal music education class they've ever had. So although it is not your job to make every student love music, by giving students exposure to the world of music, by planning different means of music making, by enjoying what you're planning, which I've talked about on this podcast so many times, you're going to have students smile. You're going to reach them in one way or another. Even if they say, I don't love music, they are going to love something about music class every time they're in there. So this episode was a little all over the place, but it was just something that was on my heart, because I feel like once you shift from trying to reach every single student, trying to make them fall in love with music, I really want this to be their favorite class. I want them to love what happens in here. I want them to love the music room. You're not going to always get that. But when you're loving what you do, you are creating opportunities for your students to move and to experience and to create. Then when they leave your music room at the end of that class period, they've experienced music, and you know it's going to travel with them throughout the rest of the day. They're going to go home and talk about what they learned. They're going to, in return, be advocating for the music room, even without knowing that's what they're doing. So I would love to hear your thoughts about this topic. I could go on and on about this forever, but I promise to keep these episodes short, sweet, to the point from now on. So that's what I'm going to continue doing. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you soon with a new episode. Well, hey there. Thank you so much for listening into the Elementary Music Teacher podcast. There is an exclusive Facebook group just for listeners of this podcast and any elementary music teacher called the Elementary Music Teacher Community Facebook group. Come on over and join us there where we have conversations around the podcast episodes and encourage each other each and every week. And also head to my website, thedomesticmusician.com. I have some free resources there that you can download to help you gain traction in your classroom today, as well as the blog and the membership site and all kinds of other goodies to help you keep going in your music teaching journey. I cannot wait to keep connecting with you and encouraging you and spurring you on in your journey of teaching elementary music. Hang in there, have an amazing week, and I will see you soon.